Oh, sir, I pray for thy safety on so perilous a journey.
The cheerful daylight world belies the horrors that prowl by night. How can the good people of Prague go about their business with such evil abroad in the land?
God save and protect thee, his soldier, his wrath and vengeance.
Hail, good Sir Knight, and welcome. They do say you seek to cleanse the minds of evil. Oh, these demons have brought great suffering to the good people of Prague. Our craftsmen have no silver for their wares, and many proud families now beg for their bread. Please, accept all that my humble inn can provide, and the blessings of the Lord be upon your quest.
Outside the gates of the city, good Sir Knight, for all those that wander the highways alone after nightfall are seldom heard from again. Even the strongest of warriors have disappeared. The streets of Prague are no longer safe after dark, but beyond the city walls all hell walks the night. Hell that disgorges from yonder castle of Viscerad.
Smithy. Now I may replace my war-weary armor. Hail, good Sir Blacksmith. I am Christoph of the Sword Brethren, and I seek to replace armor lost in battle.
Ho there, young crusader. I be Jiri Borajov, and the very boards of me humble shop are honored to be trodden by a sword brethren. And who will ye be slaying in your new armor?
I seek to slay the demons in the silver mines to the east.
You look a bit sickly, Sir Christoph. if ye do seek to spill the blood of the fiends in the mine, ye'll be needing special protection.
The protection of the Lord suffices. I need no more than that.
Ha! Tell that to your armor and sword. Nay, 'tis gypsy charms I be speaking of.
Aid from a gypsy? Can such a thing be godly?
Why, did not King Saul seek out a wise woman and her familiar spirit in his time of need? Yea, that very King Saul, who had once banished all witches, sought a witch when he needed to learn of his future. She summoned the spirit of Samuel the prophet, and no mistake, 'tis in the Holy Bible.
I do not wish to risk my soul with reckless alliances.
Your zeal in the name of our Lord is commendable. But take care, lest such stubborn pride doom your soul. Some do say the gypsy is evil, but I say nay. I do know the healing power of the Lord, and her potions do restore my spirit as well as my limbs.
Very well. Tell me of her, and I shall seek her out.
You must promise me that the gypsy will come to no harm by my telling.
No, I cannot promise that. Harm is bound to come to those doing the devil's work.
Then I cannot be telling you. God be with you.
Very well, Jiri. I promise that no harm shall come to her from thy telling.
Go ye to the Golden Lane, where you'll find an herbal shop run by the old gypsy woman Unorna. There ye shall find something to aid ye surely. God be with ye, young one. Good day to ye.
The shop of a gypsy witch. Dare I enter such a place?
Hello, young one. What is it you desire?
I desire only to bring the Lord's justice to the evil that has befallen this city. I would know of the devils that rule the night in Prague.
They are vampires. The undead. The blood drinkers. The fiends do hide their miserable carcasses away in mines and crypts under the earth, for the very rays of the sun to scald the flesh from their bones. 'Tis quite a sight and a stench the like of which you'll ne'er forget.
Then perhaps I shall show them the glory of the breaking dawn before dealing them their final mercy.
Weapons cannot kill the fiends, lest their heads be cleft from their undying bodies. You will need more than a buckler of faith to aid you. Go with God, young one. And be sure to be within the warmth of a hearth when the sun falls. For the foes you have seen are but a small part of the wickedness that walks the streets of Prague by night.
I shall send all such wickedness back to hell.
Beware the mines, Crusader. If mere men could kill the Hellspawn, we Knights of St. John would have slain them long ago.
We lock these gates as the last rays of the sun die in the mountains. Pass within before dark, or wait without until dawn. I pray for thy safe return.
These carts still hold their ore. The diggers have fled this place in haste, and the fiends have not seen fit to continue such honest labor. The odor of freshly mined earth is laden with the foul stench of death. What mystery lies moldering here? This poor soul died without a wound, save a bit of blood at the throat. Wild dogs? Nay, rats! I reclaim this treasure from the clutches of evil and reconsecrate it to a godly purpose.
My good kinsman Christoph. My good kinsman Christoph, thy bravery carried the day in the Battle of the Moravian Hills. Thy sword brethren crushed the pagan barbarians and now chase their scattered hordes into eastern Hungary. Once the last of the heathens are routed, our garrison shall return to Prague, and thou mayst rejoin our ranks. Until then, the tender ministrations of the Holy Sisters shall revive thee, if it be God's will that thou outlive thy wound. Thy fellow sword brethren pray for thy swift recovery, for they cannot allow thee to ripe and rot in decadent luxury whilst they sacrifice themselves. Perhaps thou canst make thy sword arm useful to good Archbishop Giza until such time as we return to collect thee. May the tidings of the Lord be upon thee, Sir Cuthbert.
Blasphemy! Let the builders of this mockery of a holy cathedral show their wicked faces. Out, blaspheming wretch! Taste the steel of righteousness!
I am Alza, the unliving, and I bid thee welcome to my domain. Although I have found thee an inhospitable and ungrateful guest.
God strike thee down, she-devil! Accursed creature! Earth has no room for such as thee!
Verily, all the earth is our dominion. With every passing day our numbers swell. We shatter all defenses and corrupt all holy places. The Tsaritsy shall rule all of Prague, and everyone, mortal and Canaanite alike, will tremble at our coming.
Hellspawn, the purity of the holy places protects them from thy evil.
Purity can be sullied, and holiness can be defiled. The Methuselah of Viseral shall awaken soon. He shall defile all that is pure, and leave corruption his wake. In defilement lies his strength. Purity is sweet meat to him, as thy rich blood is sweet wine to me.
Die, thou damned beast. God hath spat thee out of heaven in ancient times, and now I scourge thee from the earth. Die, and burn far from the sight of God.
There you are, naughty boy.
Sweet redemption of our Lord is forbidden to the likes of thee. Thou hast no home now but the eternal torments of hell!
amulet of St. Jude. 'Tis an omen. If I redeem so holy a relic from this ungodly tomb, surely the saint shall grant me his favor.
Who comes there? Ah, the crusader ends his day in retreat. Back for another rest in the nunnery?
All of Prague may rest. I have claimed the head of the demon queen.
Praise be to Christoph, champion of Prague!
Hail and well met, Crusader.
Hail and well met to thee, Knights of St. John.
'Tis good to hear the voice of a fellow Frenchman. We Knights of St. John are far from home, and I would we were back in France.
Say not so. We should gladly go to the ends of the earth in service to our Lord. Good day to thee.